A person's mind is much like a jigsaw puzzle. Life's experience shape each piece of the puzzle, and it seems that most of our character building takes place in our first 16 years. Drifting back in my own memories, I can find myself in a teenage body on a warm autumn afternoon slipping quietly through a stand of deep red sumac, easing into archery range of a herd of mule deer. Going back even further, most memories involve my father. Aim for the eyes, he would say, otherwise you'll waste the rabbit's meat. Dad wasn't one to waste unneeded words, but his stories came alive as he recalled hunting back in the good old days. These are the good old days for today's generation of young hunters. As parents and mentors, it's our duty to put today's youth into situations that they can draw pleasant memories from for the rest of their lives. When we take a youngster hunting, we do our part to pass the torch down to the next generation, preserving our hunting legacy. On a cold December weekend, we witnessed an illustration of this father-son phenomenon. It is my privilege to introduce to you Dean and Travis Slingsby of Broken Bow, Nebraska, who have joined us on a muzzleloader hunt in the Grant County Sandhills. Sadly, Dean and Travis find themselves here due to some dreadful circumstances.
My wife was come down with an illness, was suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease, and the community and the neighbors got together and put on a benefit on her behalf, and there were several things donated to an auction to be sold off, and one of our neighbors, John Hunt, and his wife Terry and Mitchell donated a hunt up here on this ranch. When it was sold at the auction, Todd Bitterman bought the hunt, and then he donated it back to my son Travis.
Tim McAbee's the cowboy up here that we're staying with. He watches these deer all year long, and he's got a real good handle on the herds between the muleys and the whitetails. And why are we shooting these whitetail does?
Yeah, we do like to have some people come up and do some whitetail hunting. We primarily have a trophy mule deer. Of course, there's mule deer and whitetail on this ranch. Muzzleloader season is a good time to come up and try to harvest a few, especially the whitetail does. The whitetail seems to be a pretty challenging and fun kind of hunt, and with the black powder, I think that makes for a pretty interesting time.
Well, yeah, this does look like a pretty good spot out here. We've got this green field out in front of us, this windmill off to the side over here.
Yeah, and there's a tree line right behind us where they bed down during the day. They should come browsing by here pretty soon. Hopefully Dean and Travis will get a shot out of here tomorrow.
Well, do you think Dusty will get a shot with his bow here tonight?
Well, I hope so. We've only got about an hour of daylight, though. But they should be coming in here any time.
We've got 3 does that have worked their way across this field behind us into a pocket of trees. And we're sitting up here in a bale pile in this lane from those trees to this windmill. And these 3 does are going to be working their way towards that windmill to get a drink of water. And I should get a shot about 15 yards from right here. Let's see if this all works out.
It's getting pretty dark.
Yeah, and I don't think those deer are going to come in the shooting range. We'll have to slip out of here and try for them again tomorrow. How's the sausage, Bob?
Jane, get over here and grab a plate. So don't worry. What time did Dean say they were going to show up?
It might be later, because Travis might have had to wrestling practice tonight yet.
I don't know how you guys ever survived till I came along to try and cook a little bit for you. I don't either. Look at this. Is this good or what?
The big deer today.
There was Tom on the deer trail looking for the big one, yeah.
We're in trouble. We're in deep trouble.
It's got a scope on it.
Is this a good morning? Is this one of those perfect mornings?
He'll walk it off.
Yeah. He's been on a diet between meals, that's about it.
Oh, I got something none of y'all got.
Well, you brought your purse.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's time to get serious.
We're shooting kind of a mamby-pamby load.
I remember that.
All right, Mitchell's loaded up.
Dad decided to set up an ambush point on a hill at the end of this tree line. Tim and Bob were walking the trees from the other end, hopefully pushing some deer this way. We spotted a doe in the middle of this field coming our direction. She's in range now. We're just waiting for a good shot. Misfire.
They stopped like the first time they stopped, and I get it on them, and then I go to pull my trigger and I pull it back all the way and it didn't fire. So I open it up and close it, and then I go to fire and it wouldn't move at all. So and then they just took off running. So I didn't know if they were ever gonna come, and they were like, "Okay, come on, you get ready, they're coming," and I was just waiting there.
And we go down there, and here is Alan. Poor, crestfallen Alan. What happened? Well, those Browning automatics are heavy, and about probably 10 or 12 foot below the top, there's a cattle trail that goes around there. Well, he got up for that, and that gun was getting heavy, so he left his gun there and climbed the rest of the way up and peeked over the top, and the buck was right there. And his gun was down there. So he raced down and got his gun, and by the time he got the gun and got turned around and situated, the deer was going up the hill on the opposite side of the canyon on a dead run.
After about my fourth time trying to shoot it, my gun finally fired. Finally fired on the first time on this doe, but misfired on 3 others. And we were just coming up over this hill, and John and Mitch had been coming up over a hill, and they saw it and kind of chased it over to us. And I was popping up over the hill, and Dustin saw it and just kind of pointed to me, and I didn't know if it was a muley or a whitetail, and I looked at my scope and I saw it, and finally got laid down for a second time, and I took a shot at it, and it dropped pretty fast.
So for 3 glorious days the sun broke through the dark storm clouds of life and gave this father and son something we can't put a price on. Sometime in the distant future, Travis Slingsby will be telling his grandkids this story about the good old days, and no doubt his face will break into a great big smile.
We're going to have to draw straws when we get back to see who gets to pick all the cactus out of my